Hey guys,
What's up?
let's talk about some hashtag change the channel.
Oh, man. This is interesting. This is an interesting topic.
Yeah, we're not going to talk too long. Like, it's not going to be like a super long, like, it's kind of like a random thing, but like, we're going to just be talking about this.
Yeah.
And, cause like, okay, guys,
All right.
nobody's really thinking about like the people like me.
Okay.
I keep getting stuff ruined for me.
Yeah. I like how your first words about this are like, this affects me and me specifically. And really the main victim in this whole situation is moi. Very good. Very, very sensitive, Dara.
Wait,
no.
look, this is like as the weeks come by, it keeps getting worse. Let's start with some positivity.
Okay.
And make a joke towards me.
Let's start off positive, making a joke at the expense of me.
So people don't know the hashtag change the channel things about Channel Awesome and how apparently they're just like shit business people.
Yeah, basically, and that is the kind of the root of the whole thing, really.
And it's mainly like the CEO, Mike Machad, and the Walker brothers.
Yes.
And I'm just like, dang it.
Yeah.
There's nothing sacred.
Nothing is sacred. No. And yeah, there's a lot to say on this matter, I think, because, going into this, I have to think, okay, what can we add to this conversation? Because, we don't want to just don't want to solely be profiting off of talking about a hot topic.
Well, we do a little bit.
A little bit. I mean,
no, but like we were really we were big fans.
Yeah, I think that's something to from the perspective. I haven't seen a ton of. I've seen some of the videos people have been doing about this, but and some people who are just like have been critical.
Mm-hmm.
But as people we followed this, so like this is something an interesting kind of I guess from the perspective of us who were following this, what we think of it.
So when did you start watching anything like from like Nostalgia Critic or like any of those?
Yeah,
or like how many of them did you watch?
Really, mostly. Well, I watch like Lindsay Ellis's stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure I started watching her until she left Channel Awesome.
I watched her stuff like I think
I've seen some of her stuff, but I don't think the bulk of her stuff. I don't think I watched till she left, and then mostly just Nostalgia Critic stuff. Yeah, I was watching. Yeah,
I was watching stuff. Like some people like I knew about, and I was just like kind of watched them like on occasion. Like I watched Nostalgia Critic. I watched Nostalgia Chick like probably a little before. Yeah, maybe like a year before she left.
Yeah, okay.
I watched Todd in the Shadows,
I've seen his stuff.
I watched. I did watch Alison Pregel, who's now does movie nights. Yeah, but that was kind of. I kind of watched that more after she left. Yeah. I watched Fayless a bit, like some stuff. I was like, if I knew the movie, I would like kind of watched it. Mm-hmm. I watched Brows Held High. I watched Bad Movie Beatdown. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. I watch a cinema snob, and I still like that stuff a lot. Yeah, yeah. I can't think of anybody else. Mm-hmm. I watched Angry Joe like a little bit, but I really wasn't. I'm not that into video games, right? Yeah, so I watched Linkara a good amount because I really like Linkara. Yeah, and like luckily most of them have left. I think if you look on their page, I think it's been the past few weeks. It's been severely declining. Like it went from like I think the only people who are left are people to like it's down to like 11 now. No, I think it's just right now it's just Brad Jones and Guru Larry. I don't know. I have a feeling because like Brad Jones hasn't really said anything, and I'm kind of wondering if he's like working on leaving or like I heard something on a Reddit thing saying he did leave. Or like he's going to leave. Okay. Well, I've heard he's been kind of he's been like doing his own thing. He's been kind of doing his own thing. That's kind of it. So like I would say like it's from like it seems like basically all of the producers with the exception of like the Walker brothers. Mm-hmm. Like really they're the victims. Yeah. Which Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just like cuz like for a while like I didn't actually did you read you read the full thing, right? I read the full thing. Yeah, I didn't actually read the full thing. I said I would, but then I didn't. You're like, oh, that's a lot of words. And I was like, yeah. I just get really distracted when I'm reading. So, like, I couldn't focus. I read a little bit of it. Yeah, but then, I mean, you watched a lot of people's stuff on it. So I did, actually. Like, a lot of the summaries, which basically highlight the worst of the worst. Well, okay, so actually, I want to tell you this. So, because I remember you messaged me. Yeah, you actually told me about this. Yeah. I messaged you, but, like, I think, like, a week before, I saw a post that Linkara was leaving Channel Awesome. Mm-hmm. And so I read his thing, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I read it, and he's basically like, I've had problem with the management for a long time. Right. And, like, that whole thing. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. And he basically said, like, I can, like, go on my own now, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, that's kind of the reason, like, a lot of people, like, it took them a while to leave until, like, now, because they probably would not have been able to survive on their own.
Right. That's the thing. That's kind of a big thing. It's, you know, especially I feel like online, like, media production is, while it's been around, you know, for, like, over a decade now, it's still a very young field.
Yeah.
And so if you... and especially if you were doing this before YouTube became a steady and stable source of income and just a place to post content, you didn't have a lot of options.
No.
So, you know, you either did put in all the work, and it's a lot of work to make consistent video online content. Hi, we do that.
Yeah, like if you guys, I mean, like,
but it's a lot of work, especially if you're doing it solo. I mean, we have the two of us, so we can divide work, you know, pretty evenly.
But like, and even like for a while with us, because like I didn't have an editing program for a while, so you were kind of doing a lot of the work, and then I got an editing program, and now we split the work. But still, like whenever we record, it's like an all day thing.
Yeah, it's like we've been at hold on, we've been here for about 8 hours doing this. No, we spend 8 hours a day, and that's in connection with our jobs and stuff. So it's a lot to do, especially if you're not making money off of it. So if you wanted to in the past, you know, make this a living or make some kind of stable income off of it, you did not have a lot of options with who you were partnering up and what you're doing. And even then, even today, you can put all the videos online that you want, but if you don't have a network, if you don't have another place boosting your content for you, it's very difficult to get discovered.
That is changing a bit, though.
It is changing, and the culture is getting better, and that's why we are seeing things like this change to the channel document come up, is because people have the power now to stand up to things that are either bad business practices or, you know, verbal harassment or other kinds of things that make a place, you know, not suitable to work for. So it's getting better, but it still has a long way to go. I think that's what we see here.
Yeah, I kind of went on like a bit of like a Reddit and like Twitter and like YouTube like rabbit hole a couple days ago to like kind of dig more, because Alison Pringle, who does movie nights now and used to be Obscurus Lupa, did a video kind of explaining like what she...
Yeah, did you send that to me?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I think you sent me one or two, or I found
I just sent you that one.
Okay.
But like, yeah, like her whole explanation about like with her basically saying like they really... Like they said, like she even said like most of the problems with Mike Machad, like not like... saying like the Walker Brothers were definitely like involved and like...
Yeah, and it seems like their biggest like issue was just gross incompetence.
Yeah.
If you look at some of that stuff, it's like, oh, that's...
Or like it's just like going along with whatever Mike Machad did, and apparently he is like Allison said, like he's a terrible businessman, he's a bully.
Yeah.
And like that kind of thing, and you're just like, and like there was like the story like where she talked about how, because and I think there was like a whole thing because like some people were confused about the fact that somebody felt like they were just upset about the fact that they weren't getting paid when they were embedding their videos onto Channel Awesome, and like and then some people were saying, well, you signed a contract,
right? And
she kind of pointed out like we knew that, and like the point is like we would embed it on them and we get exposure,
right?
And they would take like a little bit of the advertisement thing, and it's like okay, that's the deal,
yeah.
And then it just kind of it got worse, and like they talk about the thing with like not the crossovers, but like the films that they would do, like the anniversary specials, and like how they didn't get paid for that, and I'm just like, okay.
And there weren't craft services.
There was what the heck?
That was rough.
You're working like an 8-hour day, you need food. Come on.
that was a rough thing to read.
And there was like this whole thing of like if they made crossovers with other people while they were doing this, they had to give all the money to them.
Yeah.
Which is like
the crossovers related to the anniversary specials.
Yeah. Although apparently I think because Channel Awesome, I think part of the reason why they're kind of extremely going downhill is because they were terrible at apologizing.
Oh my god, that apology though.
There's two.
I only saw one. What was the
first one? The first one. Did you see the first one?
It was on Twitter. Refresh me.
It was the first one on Twitter.
Yeah,
where they basically said, "We're sorry you feel
that way." That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Yeah, I know people who say this like in real life who say like, I'm sorry that you feel that way." It makes my blood boil every time because you know that you're not apologizing. You make it sound like it's an apology, but everyone knows it's not an apology, so stop doing it. Anyway, I'm very salty about it.
No, you didn't. Also, you didn't see the second one then. They posted on Channel Awesome their response.
Oh,
basically saying that everything, it's basically like calling out people saying it was all a lie.
Wait, can we pull this up?
Yeah.
Can we read this?
Let me find it. All right. Since the posting of the Not So Awesome document on Monday, April 2nd, 2018, we've been exploring all of our options on how to address the lies that have been alleged by multiple disgruntled individuals with vindicated intentions.
When was this posted?
April 11th.
April 11th. Wow, this is a few days ago. How did I miss this?
Channel Awesome has always tried to keep our dealings with our content partners out of the public eye, and despite any differences or disagreements, we have never publicly spoken negatively about any of them, which I think is actually, that might be true. I haven't, like, heard, like, any of them say anything, like, negative. I'm not,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, I know what yeah.
But a response to these accusations level against us must happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we cannot address all 73 plus pages. Is it 73 now? I thought it was, like...
Last I saw it was 65.
I heard it was 69, and then I giggled.
Huh.
Pages of accusation against us in this forum, but we will address the most egregious now.
Okay.
Okay, accusation. Okay, so the first one is Jane Doe accused us of knowing about a sexual deviant for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the screenshot below clearly demonstrates the time elapsed from being made aware of the individual in question, name redacted for legal reasons, although I think they might have said who it was. Or Reddit figured it out.
Oh, Reddit figured it out?
So there was that. So yeah, apparently there was like one of the, it was like, I think it was a producer, like a content producer.
Yeah.
Was a, like a groomer, and like this just came out recently. It was like a sexual deviant.
Yeah.
Apparently it was Juwario. The guy committed suicide. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, like look at when you get the chance, like look it up, like just look up like Juwario, you might find some videos, because I've been finding the videos of people talking about it. I'm not making this up.
Oh, dude. Oh, shit.
Oh, no. I know, right? Because, like...
Oh, man.
I know.
That
hurt. I mean, I didn't watch Juwario, like, ever, but, like, it was really sad when he committed suicide, so...
Wow.
And, like, literally somebody... Yikes. I saw that somewhere randomly, and then I went on Reddit, and it was not the Jane Doe, but somebody else who also said it, was like, this is true, and like went through it's a really painful thing to read.
Oh man.
And it was like really this thing of like saying like I can never come out because like, and I was trying to talk about it, but like his fans were just kind of like, you know, doing what fans like, that kind of thing. And then he died, and she's like, I can't say anything now because like I could be sued by his wife, and like that whole thing.
Yeah. Yikes.
I just made this worse for you, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, damn. That's just a sticky situation all around that.
I know. And again, like I know they're allegations, but like, you know. Okay, so I need to actually show you like the way this is presented. Yeah. So it like says accusation, and then it says fact. Like, look at that.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that like, that's ridiculous?
Yeah. What the, like that's, I don't know. That's not, I don't like the way, I don't know. I don't like the way that whole thing's gone about. I think at that point you just need a lawyer.
I know. And I don't think I can go through this whole thing. Well, maybe we can. Multiple content partners stated state payments for their contributions to the site were not compensated. Mm-hmm. There's a cat in there, so it's a good video now.
It's not a real internet video until there's a cat here, no matter how serious it is.
Basically saying, like, well, we upped your career. And, like, most people who say, like, they, like, are appreciative of what Channel Awesome gave them.
Yeah.
And, like, don't...
Like, they can recognize, you know, that a network helped, but the people were terrible.
The document talks about drops in traffic to the site. And they said they had drops after demo reel, and there was like this whole thing with like the League of Super Critics.
Yeah.
Lindsay Ellis.
Okay.
And I got to keep looking because I read through this like a little bit, and she posted about a thread from Linkara, who actually he debunked a bunch of this stuff.
Oh, okay.
I just don't remember where the thread is. So I'm gonna keep going through the response, and then I'll talk about Linkara's thing. Okay. Because, like, there's, like, a lot of content. There's, like, I was, like, thinking about it. There's, like, several, like, content producers where I'm just, like, honestly, like, I've had, like, I feel, like, the thing with, like, the Walker Brothers, like, I've had grievances with their movie reviews, and it's just, like, such, I told you, right? Like, it's such a nitpicky thing, but, like, it always came off that, like, if I didn't agree with them, I was, like, less.
Yeah.
And, like, kind of dumb for, like, disagreeing with them for, like, liking a movie that they didn't like, or like something like that. And I'm just like, that always made me feel bad. It's not like a ton of producers, or like not a ton of people do that, and I know it's like nitpicky for me,
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm just like, I don't think I would ever be friends with them.
Right.
And it's like a lot of people, like, I'm just like, oh, I don't think I could actually hang out with them as people.
Right.
Like, I like their content, but I'm like, I don't really want to be friends with them.
Yeah.
I think it's like Brad Jones, like Linkara. Like, I want to be friends with them because they feel like they're genuinely good people.
Yeah.
Back to this. A few content partners allege a misogynistic work atmosphere by Channel Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Fact, Channel Awesome current and former female staff, including, oh, this is a dumb way to do this, guys.
Are you telling me they're doing the same thing as like I'm not racist, I have a black friend. Is that what they're doing here?
Channel Awesome's current and former female staff, including Tamara Chambers, Rachel Tietz, Alana Wade, and Heather Russo, have had vastly different experiences than the ones described. We are always trying to improve ourselves, but both personally and professionally, and moving forward, we will implement mandatory sensitivity training to all staff to ensure we maintain a culture of respect for all employees.
Oh my god. It's like the same thing as saying, that's the same thing as saying, like, well, I'm not racist. I'm a black friend, Steve, over here, and Steve doesn't think I'm a racist. And Steve goes, yeah, no, I don't think you're not. Yeah, I guess you're not a racist. Like, that's the same thing. Don't.
Oh. And then they kind of, I don't know who Holly Brown is, but they kind of.
Oh, that was the HR person.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Her section was the worst. That was the worst thing to
she
read.
was like
that was a hard
she was like
read.
being like not sexually assaulted, but like she was reporting sexual misconduct, right?
Yeah,
towards her.
Yeah, like the one I forget which, I don't want to name the wrong person here, but there was a staff member who was like making advances, like I think when he was married, and just like. Yeah, no, not a good dude. And also, yeah, no, that was the worst read, I think, of the whole thing was Holly Brown. I think that was the one that was like, oh man.
So basically, Holly Brown made numerous accusations throughout the document. Says Holly Brown is a former employee and shareholder who was allowed to resign. Unfortunately, her accusations are not true and are vindicated in nature, although they give no evidence to that. It doesn't seem. Holly Brown alleged CEO Mike Machad is the sole owner of the Nostalgia Critic. The IP is owned by Channel Awesome Inc. The partnership is owned by 4 individuals, with the 5th person joining ownership by the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like he's the CEO.
Yeah.
Holly Brown alleged Channel Awesome had her work to boldly flee after her surgery. During this time, Rob Walker, Doug Walker, and Mike Machad told her she did not have to work. Site updates were performed by others as she recovered.
Well, okay, there's a difference here between like, it's like, yeah, listen, you just had surgery, like you don't have to work, or being like, yeah, well, I guess you don't have to work. Like there's a lot of context that's missing, I think, from that statement, and that's something that you can't ever, I guess, replicate or properly demonstrate, especially through a text format. But you know that can sounds like it can be taken with a grain of salt.
And so there's like, did you watch To Boldly Flee?
No.
I didn't see they did. It's like 3 hours long.
No, I'm not doing.
I saw Suburban Nights and I saw Kid Gassia, and they're fine.
Yeah.
I never actually watched To Boldly Flee, but so Lindsay Ellis alleged Doug Walker and Channel Awesome ignored concerns regarding a transformation scene, which apparently kind of seemed more like a rape scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really just like a lot of misogyny.
Fact.
And I think, well, and here's an interesting thing. I think for misogyny, some people can say that like, oh, that's the same as saying like, oh, hello, you are a woman, you don't belong here. But like misogyny takes all kinds of forms.
Yeah.
And you know, writing things like inappropriate rape humor. Yeah. No, that can be very misogynistic.
It can be, but and like I said, like if like you like give it to a woman who's like, hey, is this like being gross, and like she tries to change it a bit, that's like, I think if like you can do like weird, like gross, like sex humor, like towards women, if like the women are involved.
Yeah, well, but through that document, we see that when that was presented, you know, it wasn't really okay with anybody. It was like, oh no, this isn't okay.
Well, okay, so this says fact, as the screenshot below shows, Lindsay was repeatedly asked for opinion and approval of the scene before it was finalized. Lindsay even helped Doug make the scene sound better. Multiple content partners addressed lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Fact, we agreed communication could have and should have been better. We got into this business based on our passion for content creation and have had many growing pains over the years. We always strive to learn from our mistakes and strengthen our skills. Clearly you didn't. Have we made mistakes? Yes, we have. We even discussed some of our challenges in our behind-the-scenes videos. We're always focused on trying to entertain our viewers, shine spotlights on unknown talent, and share our attention with various charities, and we hope to continue to do so moving forward. Also, I missed this one. Accusation. Alison Pregel states not a single person wasn't miserable. In this, and then they show a video, and it says in this video, you find that Alison says that it was a great production to be a part of. It was a lot of fun to be part of Suburban Nights, and I'm like, that doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything. That does not mean anything. People say and feel very different things, so especially when your job is to present a character to an audience or present a persona to an audience. Yeah, it's very easy to say different things, especially if you're being professional. Like, obviously, if you are involved, like, contractually into a professional kind of situation, you're not going to just, like, start bad-mouthing it just automatically. You're not going to be like I don't go on camera and say, like, yeah, I had a bad day at work today, but I don't go and be like, yeah, like, and this happened and this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that.
And, like, most of the comments are kind of just like saying, like, this is bullshit, guys.
Yeah.
And, like, my thing is just like, look, if you just, like, would have acknowledged that you fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry we fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll work on fixing it.
Yeah.
You would have been fine.
Yeah. Going out of your way to discredit people, I think can, for people who are already kind of unsure, I think that can really, really set them against you. Because, especially, on both sides, I think there are content creators that people like the content that they create. And so, thinking that if you try to go out of your way to discredit them, people aren't going to be against you further. I think that is a bold assertion, and that is assuming that you are way more popular than you actually are.
All right, let me talk a little about Linkara's things.
Yeah.
Talks about a bit with the supposed, like, rape scene, and again, I didn't see it publicly, supposed rape scene, and Linkara's, like, one of those people, like, I thought, like, I was kind of annoyed with him for a bit when he was, like, clearly, like, saying, like, he was a feminist, and I was kind of super anti-feminist for a bit, and now I'm kind of over that. But, like, he's the type of guy, he's, like, also, like, I was against, like, male feminists for a long time, because, like, especially, like, recently, you prove, like, a lot of them are dickheads.
Yeah.
But he seems like the type of guy, I need some wood to knock on.
You can always use your head. Oh, behind you, you have.
All right, hold on. I need to knock on one.
Okay.
Linkara seems like the type of guy who's, like, actually, like, believes everything that he says about, like, not being equality to women and, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I believe him that he's, like, a proper, like, good guy. Hope nothing of that changes, please. Anyway, I feel like we'll be fine. Basically, it starts off with saying, I don't have to say much. Everything else is already showing how this is full of it. How they're either off the mark, lacking an apology, or just in general wrong.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the rape scene and how there might be a bit misogynist, for starters, Lindsay wasn't the only one upset by the scene and to boldly flee. I was too, in fact. Mm-hmm. I saw it first and told Lindsay about it, and told Doug about it, and said how bad it was. Notice that my name wasn't included in the response. Mm-hmm. Weird, ain't it?
Huh, that's almost like they don't understand their own misogyny.
I can also point out that the chat log doesn't address their point that they listened to the feedback on it. Oh, sure, they didn't listen. They did listen to it eventually. We don't deny that, but that's not what the chat log was about.
Right.
And what's more a problem with the scene was written like... what's more a problem with the scene was that it was written like that to begin with. Mm-hmm. Sure, the final product is not as bad as it was in the script, but why did that ever get as far at all? Why did they still try to make it a sex joke despite all the implications we discuss? Mm-hmm. But hey, maybe that's just petty creative differences. It happens. Pretty shitty that it's Lindsay getting thrown under the bus about the creative differences, though. Mm. Now I need to keep stressing this. I like the anniversary movies. I genuinely enjoyed them. I'm proud to have been a part of them. I do not regret my decision to help with them, use my characters in them, and the relationship I forged. They will hopefully last the rest of my life, but don't believe for 1 second that it was some one-way streak, that they were doing some great favor, expecting nothing in return. As I've said, I was incredibly fortunate. Others were not, and they deserve more of a hell of a lot more respect than they've gotten.
Right.
They don't deserve more input. They deserve more input in how they were portrayed. They deserve more say in the dialogue that they speak. They deserve support when they were attacked and harassed, and indeed, maybe they deserve to keep their damn crossovers so they could make some cash for a movie they weren't otherwise going to see a dime for. Mm. Yeah, like Alison Pregel pointed out the fact that like they never even got the DVDs.
Yeah.
And like the way like she was fired is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that was silly. Yeah, they didn't address that in their thing.
Yeah, a movie that implies a movie that implied things about them that were not true or would have consequences for others. So yeah, I fully admit I signed that contract handing over my crossovers, but don't fucking tell me I should still be happy about it or that you are wrong. You are the wronged party in it all.
Right.
And especially don't you dare try to lay the blame on the victims of a lot of this. Just let me end this by reminding people not to harass the actors of Channel Awesome. The producer is still a part of the site or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You still don't know the situation, much like Channel Awesome management don't know the situation of their individual producers because they don't care. Mm-hmm. So be civil to those still there, be kind and to the victims, and indeed hashtag change the channel.
Very well said.
Thank you, Linkara.
Thank you, Linkara.
So this is insane, and
yeah. Well, here's a question. Maybe we can wrap things up with. What do we think situations like these mean for future of content producers, content creators, and that kind of stuff? Because that affects us directly. I mean, it affects a ton of people because there's so many people trying to break into this.
Yeah.
So where's this going to go?
Hugo and Jake from they do mainly the Bible Reloaded, but they have a channel called Unpopular Culture, mm-hmm. and they kind of brought up the fact that like you really shouldn't join a network, and like probably the best thing. It might take longer to like be independent. Yeah. But overall, like that's probably the best thing you can do. Okay. And that kind of thing, which I think they have a point. Like yeah, a network's gonna probably help you grow faster, but in the end, it's not gonna go well. Right. For you.
Well, at least maybe at this point in time, because I mean,
like maybe it'll get better.
Yeah, because I think the internet and content creation, I think it's still kind of the Wild West. It really is. And for better or worse, I mean, you have this freedom of information that you constantly have this influx of things. You can find anything and anything. You can find a video for anything that you want, and you can find probably your opinion anywhere. Because, you know, so many people are making videos. At least one person's going to feel the same way you do. And that's great. That can be really reaffirming for all kinds of different things. But it's a lot of things aren't well regulated. Yeah. There's not really a force, you know, stepping up and saying like, hey, you're managing content really bad, or hey, this is some really abusive stuff. You're engaging in some really abusive activity, or this is some very harmful information. You are doing some very bad things. There's really no force for that. And some people will say that's good in, making a case, a very anti-censorship case. But when that rolls around to the business aspect of things and the money things, it stops becoming about the content you're saying and starts becoming about the management side of things. Then it starts getting kind of scary because there's very little stopping people, especially who create content on the internet, from getting into some really bad situations and just getting in with the wrong people. Yeah. So it can be kind of scary, and going forward, and especially if this is something that you want to be doing for a living, this can make things kind of unsure. I mean, the fact that people are speaking up now makes it better in the sense that, you know, people feel like they can speak up now about these sorts of things. Yeah. But there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, that thing people were mentioning, it's like for like a while, like the reason that they weren't speaking up is because they had nowhere else to go, and if they spoke up, they probably their channel would have died. Right. So that's kind of the thing. Man, I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, I remember like thinking like in high school and college, like wanting to like join, like make a video, like make a series and join Channel Awesome.
Exactly. I think, you know, you both think about this because that's what we do. I mean, that's what we did, especially, you know, high school and college. We were making content through one way or another, and that was kind of the goal. You always hope that somebody discovers you and then wants to put you on their channel, and so then you can get more viewers and you have a platform. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a platform, and to see one of the bigger ones, or a more prominent one, that's been around for so many years, kind of suffer through these major problems. It's like,
do you think this is the end of Channel Awesome? It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. I mean, they're losing so much. They're losing a lot of followers. They're losing a lot of respect. They're going to have to go through some major rebranding and reconfiguration. I'm surprised, major changes of management. But when it's so hard, because I think when you start talking about, because I don't know about what the hell this Mike Vachon guy is going to be doing, but we start talking about the Walker brothers. I mean, it's not just it's tricky being involved in the business and the kind of the face of things.
I think people were shocked. I think people were shocked that like they were involved in that, and I honestly assumed that they were always involved.
Yeah, and so that is proving to be really tricky because because you have the persona of the nostalgia critic, but Dog Walker is also his own persona, and to have that lack of separation between the two, once people start coming forward with problems, you don't have anywhere to go at that point. People have problems with you, and people know who you are. Like, that can end you. Like, you don't have the privilege of just like staying behind the scenes anymore. Like, if you're there and what you want to do is be the face of things, once people start saying like, hey, you suck, like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? So it's hard because sometimes you can think that the best thing to do is kind of brush it off and just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually maybe people will forget about the whole thing. But this is going to be hard to come back from, and so I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, the smart thing to do is to maybe take a break for a while, or just go through some major rebranding and change of management and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
I mean, he's still posting reviews. Like, he posted a review of Jack and Jill recently.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, really? Okay.
That's the thing. I think, well, at that point, I mean, you already have, a lot of that content was probably already made. And you have schedules and stuff. And it's a really tricky thing, because this is this is the internet. So people can drop you at the drop of a hat, but it's still a primary source of income. So
yeah,
it gets tricky. It gets tricky when you don't have something to fall back on, when you as a person is the face of something, when you don't have that separation, between, what you do and like who you are. It's tricky. And so that's not to excuse anything that anyone has done. It's just to say that is a difficult situation to put yourself in. So you have to think if that's what you want to do, if you want, your person to be your persona, if you want to make that synonymous, like your name's synonymous with what you do on the internet, you have to like really be careful with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan B. Like, you can't not have a plan B. You gotta have that secondary trade skill.
But I could we can conclude this with a ray of sunshine.
Okay.
Hoping.
Yeah.
I'm kind of maybe just people content creators, if you've been there for a while and you're really famous, and I'm not saying the blog, I mean obviously blogging's fine and that kind of thing, but I mean the people who review stuff and that kind of thing, what we do, what everybody who was on Channel Awesome does, what people like Hugo and Jake do. I'm just naming people who I watch.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, I think in order for the independent thing to maybe help grow and Patreon grow, we should just all help each other out. Just I'm saying people who are smaller, even smaller than us, just because we're small.
Yeah, we are very small, but there's a million people who have less subscribers than us, and that's really
I know, but I'm saying we should just all guys, if you're a small content producer, reach out to us and we can help each other out.
Yeah,
I've been
but we won't make a network.
No network. I'm just saying we're all our own thing, but we can still help each other out.
Yeah.
Even contact the bigger producers and see what happens. See if they reach out to you. They might be the ones of Channel Awesome and former ones might be a bit busy now because of all this.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking we could just get get advice for getting yourself bigger and ask if you want to do people do want to do crossovers, go ahead. Again, we're not doing networks,
right?
Just
and
your own thing, but get people to help out.
And part of, I think, helping everyone out is keeping yourself and keeping other people in check. Nobody is too big to be held accountable for something.
Yes, I agree.
I think, in helping out the small people, you also have to keep the bigger people in check. And I think you have to keep everyone in check. That's how these problems start, is when people think they are too powerful to be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, in conclusion.
Yes.
Everything you love is
terrible.
Terrible. Mr. Rogers is still sacred and it's fine. He died without a scandal. As far as I've been aware.
Okay, yep. We're going to keep it at that.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Rogers is still sacred and good and kind. Everything else
is up for grabs.
I'm glad when stuff is exposed, but then I'm just dang it, that's just a list of stuff I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think.
Can I still watch crossovers with?
Yeah, and that's a great question. A great thing to consider is when are you able to separate the content from its creator, and when is at what point does it deem it unwatchable or you can't consume it anymore.
With the Nostalgia Critic, that's hard.
Yeah.
I think with any crossover, like if it's like on a different channel with him, that's probably going to be a bit easier.
Okay.
But like, it's hard for me to watch a Nostalgia Critic now.
Yeah.
And it keeps like popping up on my feed because I keep like watching the Change the Channel videos.
Right. And so it gets hard because it's, by watching something, are you supporting the actions of that producer? And that's kind of a question. That's not something I think that is easy to answer. For some people, it might be very easy. For some people, it's a definite yes. For some people, it's a definite no. But that's something to consider going forward with not just Nostalgia Critic or Channel Awesome, but for everyone. I mean, I think that's 2017 certainly proved that to us.
That's true. 2018 is looking bad for the internet. Oh my god, the internet's gonna implode this year.
All right.
Guys, don't implode the internet.
Yeah, let's not implode.
Do we want to like promote us, or is this like, I don't feel right promoting?
No, yeah, let's not, because this was just a good way for us to talk things out.
It might be still being like the description because that's just the way it is.
We always have things, because maybe if you like what we're saying, you can follow us elsewhere, and maybe you'll like our reviews.
Yeah, and again, like if you're smaller than us, or hell, if you're even bigger than us, and you just like happen to stumbled upon us.
You like the words that we say.
I feel bad, like, because, like, obviously, like, this is a good way to get views, but, like, we just genuinely wanted to talk about this to each other.
This is something that, we have been talking, to each other about. I mean, how we feel about this, just being consumers of that media, for being people who followed that and those people for many years. It's something that, we want to talk about, and we have a platform to do it, so
why not?
Why not? Yeah. And because the internet is so vast and so many people watch it, maybe somebody will actually agree with us.
Here's hoping.
All right.
Hopefully we ended on like a nice like ray of sunshine, because I like being I just want the world to be good. You know me. Like, I try to see the good in everything.
You do.
I'm so naive.
I love that about you, Dara.
Thank you. All right. So, guys, peace.
See you next time.
Bye.
Peace.